Hey, hi, Aim.
Hi.
Welcome to show number 5. I'd love to start out by talking about what's in the news because I'm fascinated with this.
Okay.
So there was a 60 minutes special to the TV show 60 Minutes
I think I saw.
about apparently the Senate is trying to get the government to declassify some information about UFOs. And
It's
just
about time.
right. And just to be clear, a UFO is just an unidentified flying object. It does not necessarily mean that it's aliens, could be Russians, China, who knows, with incredible technology that we don't know about. But I can tell you if it is aliens, they're definitely undocumented.
For
So,
sure.
for,
And they do. I did read also that they have it. It seems like they find them a lot around naval bases and air and different places like that.
right. Well, I have to tell you, my favorite part about that show is sort of like us when we talk about, ghost spirits and supernatural and people not believing. This one aviator pilot was sent to off the coast of San Diego, where she saw a UFO, and she said it dropped from 80,000 feet to their level in less than 1 second. And she said, then it started to mirror and follow and mimic them. Now, apparently, there was 2 different planes, 4 people in each, and all 8 people saw the same thing. But what she said that I loved, Amy, is she said, if I had been alone and seen this, I probably wouldn't have told anyone because they would have thought I was nuts.
Yeah. Nice to have witnesses.
That's how we feel all the time.
Yes. And if I'm, even when I was little, if I was with Abby, I had my witness. So at least I knew somebody else saw that.
Right.
Even if you go places and did you see that? Did you see that?
Full disclaimer, this is Amy's daughter, Brooke, who I have never met before, but I've heard her name 1,000 times. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, great to be here.
My baby.
Unfortunately, Brooke lost a friend of hers last year, I believe, right? It was last year,
2 years ago,
2 years ago.
2019.
And I'm going to see if I can get a message from her. Was she a cheerleader or did you do sports together? She was a cheerleader?
Cheerleader at our high school, yeah.
Okay. Did she have like a heart locket like necklace
She had a tattoo of that.
of a heart?
Yeah,
And it had like
a locket with a heart on it.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a heart-shaped locket. That was her tattoo.
She struggled for a long time. She had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of I hate to use the word demons, but I feel like she had
No,
yeah.
that's what I call it. Like that's the exact same like that we would talk about all the time.
Is. Poor thing. Oh. Yeah, she had a lot going on in her brain all the time. So she was always distracted, trying to sort of like she knew that it wasn't normal to have the thoughts that she had, and she tried really hard to fight it. Mm-hmm. She was, I think, did you meet in middle school?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have a class together?
I think we might have.
What's that?
When I was younger, she's a year younger than me, so in middle school I would just like see her in the hallways.
Okay. You were a great supportive friend to her. She's actually saying she's sorry to you. Did she dance crazy?
Yeah.
Definitely didn't care. Well, I don't know if she did it in public or just with you, but there wasn't a lot
together dancing.
Okay.
when we were in Costa Rica, at night we would all have like dance parties together.
And she didn't care who thought what, she would just go crazy. And I'm getting like Peter or Paul.
I think
Peter Paul.
it might have been her dad. I'm not, what, do you know her dad's name?
I don't remember.
Did you go to like a big bonfire?
Yeah.
You did.
When we were in Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think she's tries to reach out to you, to send you signs. I'm not sure if you're getting them. Like even touching you, maybe like touching your arm.
Yeah, I always feel little things like that. I was like, what was that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like didn't know if she would still reach out to me. Like I was always worried that she wouldn't, like, still.
Really?
Yeah, but like I think about her a lot.
Okay, she's talking about candy. I don't know what kind of candy. Let's see if I can figure that out. Is there a candy that means something? Or hold on, it's kind of not a normal everyday candy, like okay, totally, I'm sure this is not right, but like, you know, those old school candy necklaces
I knew she was gonna, yes, we made the bracelets. Yeah.
that you eat?
No, so we would go to festivals, and we went to like Life in Color, and we had these like they're called candy, the bracelets that have they're beaded bracelets, and they like say things
Oh
on.
my
And
gosh.
that would be like the main thing at like the festivals. Everyone would have like a full wrist filled with them.
They're called candy?
Yeah, they're called candy. And
I
we
did
would
not
like
know
we
that.
would everyone would go to the festivals, and we would share them and like change them, and like I would give her one, she would give me one.
That's so funny. Well, I know that I think you like every time you put it on, you get emotional thinking about her. Again, she's like thanking you. You were the greatest friend. She's a little dramatic. Am I right? What?
Hear her.
She's very animated.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
Loud, like out there, yeah.
like everything is very right accentuated.
Yep.
Okay. But she's happier now.
Yeah, I know that.
It was, yeah. Well, this is getting a little emotional. Do you want to stop, Brooke? I think maybe we should. I'm even like about to cry.
Okay, right now.
You're okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm just happy to like be communicating with her.
Aw, do you want to ask her anything or?
What?
Electronics phone.
Oh yeah, her phone. Yeah. I
Her
used to,
phone?
yeah, I used to text her after she was gone, and I still have like, so we shared our locations with each other on Find My Friends, and I always look
Okay.
at it even though there's no location. I just look at it.
Okay. That's.
I know she was buried with her phone.
Did you text her like, I wish you would come home, or are you ever gonna come home?
Yeah. Or like I think she might have texted me while I was at school because I wanted to see her, and we were talking about that for a little bit, and or maybe it's when she was in California. I didn't know when she was going to come back to Florida because I wanted to see her.
Right. That was pretty soon after she passed. Did she have a little dog?
Mm-hmm.
She did. Was it white?
It was black and white.
Oh, it was black and white.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was her baby.
I was just gonna say she misses her dog.
That was her baby. Little baby.
Did the dog have some kind of crazy
Yeah.
collar?
It was like pink and bedazzled.
That's
probably.
Aw. Okay. Yeah, she's like always checking in on her dog.
That was like her most she was just so like innocent and like that was like, she always talked to her and like unconditional love. Yeah.
That was the unconditional love. Oh, she said you were too. All right. I think she's with her papa. Papa? Papa. Okay. Mhm. She can't wait when she sees you. But I told her it's not going to be anytime soon. She wants you to stay in school. Your mother did not tell me to say that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about wanting to drop out.
She said, you're going to have a great career. It's not going to be, I think it's going to be more like your own business thing. I don't think it's going to be like working for somebody else.
Yeah, I'm
But,
in entrepreneurship, so that's what I've been wanting to do.
oh, she said you're going to do great with your own business. Like I see you in your own like small office where you're kind of running everything. It's not going to be a huge business. It's going to be a small business, but you're going to have people working for you and you're going to do really well. And she wants you to like keep her in mind when you think about giving up or you don't want to do it. Your business, she said, tell her I'm going to be sitting there cheering her on. So. All right.
About giving up. I already do think about her whenever I think about giving up on something.
Something about the number 7. So that would be what, July?
Yep.
Is that a birthday? And
my birthday is in July.
Your birthday? Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have a dream about being like in the water or at the beach with her or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
She seems like the neatest person.
She is. She's so
She
fun.
said that your pain is going to lessen. It's going to get easier. And she's trying to help with that on the other side.
They can do.
Brooke, all I see is that you're just going to have the best life. You're going to have just everything that you want. And she's back there like steering right behind you. She's a feisty.
I know.
Like, I don't think she'd let anything stop her or you or her from making sure that you have a great life. I mean, she is like running the show.
Sounds like her.
Well, I think if you don't mind, Brooke, we'll call it a day. It's like emotional for you. I'm so emotional also, and I'm sorry. I hope I helped because
Did a lot.
it's so sad. And what a like terrific friend you were, and she was and is right now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can meet in person soon, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye. Aim, we'll take a little break. So Aim, you had some email questions that we were going to talk about today.
Jeannie asked about if there is a difference between good spirits and bad spirits. However the person was while they were here in this 3D body, 3D world,
Right.
is basically what their personality and who they are. So on the other side, it's the same person. It's the same energy. It's the same soul. So when I'm doing a reading, I'll feel
Right away.
personality. I'll know if that person, they would show themselves. If they were a grandmotherly figure that was sweet and protective and loving and, you know, like to sew and have that kind of grandma-ness, I would see that. That would be projected. I get their personality, and sometimes they actually make me laugh. If it was a bad person here, they might come off as that. And it's not always someone bad. I just think it might be someone that maybe wasn't the best father, for example. Might be saying, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you because I was always away, or maybe feels guilty because of, things that they did in their
Right.
life. We all have a good side and a bad side. So spirit will show that. Usually they want to show their best side. So I hope that answers your question,
Mhm.
Jeannie. Another question was from Tiffany. She asked, how do I know if I'm feeling something or seeing something that's real, or is it just my imagination? I feel like singing that song, but I'm not going to go there. Uh, so we could both probably answer a little bit of that for
Mhm.
Tiffany. Um, there is always a difference between your imagination and if you're really feeling something, and because it feels more real. So like children have imaginary friends, and we say, oh no, that's because that's their imaginary friend. Maybe they are speaking with spirit, they are closer to the other side because they're young and they're playing and they're playful. So maybe that's when we're in our playful moods, when we are just being who we are. That might be the best time that spirit comes near us. But we know the difference. If we're having a dream and we wake up from that dream and it feels so vivid, for example, when my mother would come to me and I feel her hug or I see her smiling, when I wake up, I know that's a visitation. That is not just a normal dream.
I think I had mentioned this before, but honestly, to me, that is the number one hardest part for me. And it took me years and years and years to be able to differentiate between the two. But like you said, it's much more vivid than your imagination. It's also nonsensical. I mean, your imagination, in some ways, you're controlling. This is something I know you've done this also. I've mentioned things and places that I know nothing about, and I don't know what's coming out of my mouth, how I know about these things because I'm hearing it. It's not my brain, it's what I'm hearing.
It's a different part of your brain.
Mhm.
So when we're using our left brain, we're actually using our intuitive creative ability. If we're using our right side, the logic part, we start questioning things, we start analyzing
Yeah.
things. So our brain has to like kind of put that together in one
Right.
and decide which one it's going to be. So
Right.
we rationalize it. If the lights start blinking and flashing and things like that, our rational logical side will say,
Right.
oh, probably need to change the light bulbs. If you take the light bulbs out, or you put new light bulbs in and that same light bulb keeps breaking or something happens with that, it's something more.
Right.
You first we look for the logic. And when there's no logic, then we have to say, wait a second. I turned off the radio, or the radio is not even on. How am I hearing this music?
Well, I'd love to tell. I'm going to divulge my absolute number one favorite story. I
Okay.
was waiting for the right time, and you probably hear me tell this one again. Um, just a month or two after my mother died, I had a dream. And in my dream, I saw my mother and my grandmother, and they were walking towards me. And I remember thinking, okay, if this is real, if this is a visit from my mom, then when I hug her, I'm going to actually feel her. And if it's just a dream, I won't feel her. So sure enough, she comes up to me, I hug her, I feel her. I even looked at her arm and I'm like, I feel her arm. And then in my brain, and again, I'm dreaming, I said, okay, mom, if this is real, then I figured I have one question I can ask. And I said, is there really such thing as God? And my mother looks at my grandmother and does one of these, oh shit, how do we answer this? And then my mother goes, there is, but it's not like what everyone thinks. And I woke up, I had chills from head to toe. I was so freaked out. I turned the TV on, like, okay, I'm really freaked out. I got to stop thinking about this. And got back in bed, and the freaking TV blinked on and off. At that point, I ran and got in bed with my husband.
scared anymore as probably when I was younger, and I'm like, oh, okay, give me a sign, give me a sign, give me the sign.
Yeah.
I want to see that. Give me the lights flashing, do whatever you have to do. But notice how you knew the difference. You could feel the hug. You
Without a doubt.
actually asked for proof. Give me an answer to this question. Since I'm
Right.
little, I do have dreams. The people that I know that have passed on usually are not gravity. I feel almost see them in like flying form. They're not actually flying, zooming around.
Hmm.
They're above the floor. When my mother hugged me, there's no question, I feel it, and
Mhm.
that's the best. Sometimes she'll just sit back and smile, but you wake up and you know the difference.
But the chills. Now, this is something that I didn't know this was a thing, but if you start thinking about a loved one and then suddenly you get chills from head to toe, pretty good indicator that they're with you.
Whenever I do readings, and it's not the typical kind of chills that you would get. This one's much, it actually goes through my body. I feel it going throughout my body.
Right.
I know that when I gave an answer to somebody or contacted their loved one and gave them that peace of mind,
Right.
it's almost like the person from the other side is thanking me. When I feel that feeling, I almost feel like they came through me and said, thanks. That's exactly what I wanted to tell them.
Oh, like Tiffany, want to really try to differentiate and try to figure out, what's just my brain and what am I possibly hearing. A good way to do that is just practicing. I will go up to strangers at a drugstore and just practice whatever I hear in my brain. I'll say it to them. Do you know someone named Eric? I'll hear the name Eric, or which actually just happened today. And the little girl at the drugstore was like, yes, that's my friend who just passed away a couple months ago. But that's, if you don't mind looking like a fool in front of a stranger, and
Yeah, my nails
occasionally getting things wrong.
go to if I'm at the nail salon, she would say all the time, oh, who's going to be in the hot seat today? Because somebody would be sitting next to me. I would just feel it and just, who's Francine? Who's this? But I ask also, I'm a
Right.
media. Do you want to hear this information? But yeah,
Right.
playing it as a game is a great way to practice and
Mhm.
knowing the difference. If you don't want to tell somebody, I always say have a journal, write it down,
Yeah.
have a paper with you, even if you're in your car and you're at a red light and you don't want to forget something and something interesting happens and you're not sure if it's really a sign or did that song come on because it's my mother's favorite song, or then
Mhm.
write it down and keep track of those things, like write the
Right.
date on paper or the dream that you had, whatever you remember from the dream. And you will start noticing different things and how many times you're seeing things that are signs that are real,
Right.
and you'll know the difference between.
So I only had one bad experience. A girlfriend of mine brought me a book about psychics, and I didn't know where she bought it. I figured, I don't know, maybe Walmart or something. I didn't know. But I was reading the book, and for the first time, I've never had this happen before, and it's never happened again. These two men came into my brain and started like telling me all these awful things. And they were saying about my father, like all these horrible things were going to happen. I didn't know who these men were. I wasn't channeling or trying to get anybody. And they were like laughing, and it was very weird. I took that book and I put it outside my front door, and I texted my girlfriend. I'm like, I really appreciate you getting me that book, but where'd you get it? And she goes, oh, I got it at some spiritual, I don't know, bookstore or something. And I'm like, well, can you take it back because it's freaking me out? She goes, no, just burn it. I'm like,
We do say that, and from my experience as well, that objects do have energy. So if it's, even when you walk into a house, when they say talk about haunted houses or things like
oh,
that,
sure.
it's a feeling that you would get. We might feel it.
Right.
And it could be somebody gets something from an antique place. Think about where that energy's been. Somebody wore it for years and then maybe passed it on and passed it on again. And they might not have been the best situations or the best people.
Wow. Yeah, I
So
never thought about
that
that.
energy does and can transfer. So some people I've heard say stories about things like the furniture they may have gotten from an antique place, and if
Mhm.
if something felt uncomfortable to them. So I just say, then,
I've heard that too.
get rid of it. If
Mhm.
you're scientifically, everything is made of energy. So
Wow.
that's proven. So we know that even it might not be as fast moving molecules and atoms as they would be in other kinds of matter, like human beings or trees would be different than a rock might still have energy, it just might not move. So it's different. When I
Okay.
describe energy or from spirit, their energy is very fast. It really is like a spinning vortex. Sometimes I even see it that way.
Hmm.
But it's a different, it's still energy. Energy is everywhere with us.
Very interesting.
When we go to the other side, our energy is still here. So that's
Mhm.
why spirit is here. We are reading the energy of the people from the
Hmm.
other side when we are
Right.
a medium. So can they be negative? Sure. There's negative people that come into our life right where we are now. We
Right.
just know, I don't, that person, I don't feel right looking at them, being around them. You feel that energy, either you leave or ask them to leave,
Right.
because that is true. That's using your intuition. I had an experience when I was probably around 16, and I was showering, and that was the paranormal kind of feeling where I felt something, and we had a huge tub that had the shower, and I felt an energy around, and I looked over, and we had curtains by the window in there, but the window was closed.
Right.
I saw the curtains moving, and I'm like, there's that logical side, probably just from
The
the shower
window. Yeah.
water or something. And then I looked over and I saw where the sink was, where I'd left my clothes, all the way pushed up against the mirror. And so there's a good 3 feet of countertop. So I would see, okay, if something were going to move, you would think it would just slide a little bit, especially clothing. Okay. If you would see it go all the way across to the edge where the sink is, you would say, that's strange. Like, how could something that heavy move? But literally, my clothes went from the end where it was, and it didn't just slide across and fall to the ground. It
Mhm.
literally went from that side and flew and hit the wall on the other side.
Amy.
That was the second. Then I was like, okay, somebody wants my attention
And for
here.
our listeners, Amy does not lie. I've known her for over 20 years. She has never lied a day in her life.
I have,
She
listen,
doesn't know how to lie.
I, I would have more of a reason not to tell this story. I saw the soap dish go behind me and I could feel it like this close, like fast,
Okay.
going behind me, hitting the wall. That's when I just kind of stopped, to shut off the shower, screamed, and decided from then on, maybe I need to keep the door open a little, or maybe it was definitely unsettling for me.
Right.
Thinking about it later, I don't feel like it was a negative spirit. It could have been just like a fun person spirit. It could have been my uncle who would have done funny things like that. Um, I don't know if it was in an appropriate place or.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our show today. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please like us, please subscribe. Feel free to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Amy to the second, and tell all your friends. We'd also love you to email us if you want to be on our show, or if you just have some great stories about ghosts or aliens or psychic phenomenon, whatever. Our email again, Amy to the second power at AOL.com. And second is a 2ND. Amy, want to say your mantra?
Oh, of course. So thank you for joining us. Remember, be open, expecting, accepting, and trusting, and keep practicing. Till next time.
Till next time. Bye, Amy.
Bye.